It is really important for us to have such a day and to spend some time with all of you, all the people spending time with the patients. I mean, because nurses are the people who spend the most time with the patients, and they are the one who actually can really tell us what the patients are feeling, and we leverage, I mean, we count on you so much. We count on the nurses to help the patients with their treatment, with following their guidelines, following their, their health. So this is really something that is critical and a great complement to what we are trying to do with our treatment that we're developing. Look, we're all focused on people's health. What we do for a living, all of us, Sanofi and the nurses, is to help people manage their health. And this is really a shared objective. We're developing treatment, but we also want to make sure that they're well followed, and they are really focused on helping the people manage their own health. So clearly a complete alignment, because whatever we do, we cannot really maximize without having the support of nurses all over the place.
Connecting Nurses is an opportunity for nurses from around the world to be able to talk to one another. As Pascal had mentioned, we know that we are now working with patients who have a number of chronic conditions, and I can say this as a physician. Historically, the healthcare system has been very physician-centric, but now we're trying to really move ourselves to become more patient-centric. And so when you think about what it is that patients need, oftentimes they need assistance, they need training, they need education, and really nurses are in the forefront of that. So when we think about the opportunities that nurses provide for really taking care of patients and the ability to be able to connect them through our Connecting Nurses program, whether they're in Asia, Africa, North America, or Europe, it's really an exciting opportunity. Well, the digital opportunities that exist really allows us to bring together people from around the world. And so with our Connecting Nurses program, we have nurses from 20 countries around the world. Over 100,000 have gotten involved. And really this is about sharing the information. So we saw a little bit of a snapshot here of different practices that people have, but then imagine expanding that. Imagine that going on multiple times. And so nurses really are able to bring together that information, share it with one another, learn from what they're doing in one place to bring it to another location. And it's also an opportunity to create a community where people can come together and talk to one another and really learn about opportunities that are best for patients.
I was 16 when I was diagnosed, so like most of the teenagers, I have so many dreams, so many projects. So yeah, the first few days were it was a shock, because I say my life will stop. But actually, thanks to the medical staff, thanks to the nurse, my first step were like a cocoon, and they explained to me that my life won't stop on the road, and that point is very, very important for us type 1 people. Everything was quite difficult to understand, but thanks to all the nurses, they were very empathic. They took time to understand my life, to understand what I really wanted to do, to explain to me how to treat my diabetes, how to inject my insulin, the nutrition too. They took time to understand me, and I think it's very important for us type 1, because thanks to her, I didn't have the feeling that my life changed. It was just, I was like a normal person with a new traveling companion. Even 20 years after I was diagnosed, I can remember all the faces, the name of Mireille and Jean-Louis. They were so amazing people. So you are very, very important for us at the beginning of the journey, but today too, even after 20 years, my nurse, Isabelle, is very, very important. She's following me all around my life. She was there when I was pregnant 3 years ago, because she gave me so many advice from other type 1 mom. She's always here. So thanks to you, and congrats, because we all have physician, but we spend a lot of time with our nurse when we are at the hospital, but when we are at home, we can call you, we can email you, and we really need you, because you are the connection between all the type 1 patients. So thank you, and congrats.
Being a nurse in 2014, wherever you might be in the world, requires skill, innovation, leadership, and commitment to patients, families, and communities to address health challenges, educate and support patient families and communities, provide strong clinical leadership, acquire cutting-edge knowledge, advocate for the right to dignity and access to care for everyone. Being a nurse in 2014, it's exciting, it's challenging, it's demanding. That's nursing. Thank you.
And so it is important for nurses to be political advocates. Now, you may find that a little strange, but if you remember our founder, Florence Nightingale, as well as being a nurse, she was a statistician, but she was and is a political advocate. And today in Westminster Abbey, we celebrate the birthday of Florence Nightingale. And it is an amazing service. And each nurse will carry the lamp, the Florence Nightingale lamp, and they will pass it one to another. And that symbolizes the exchange of experience, of professionalism, of dedication from one nurse to another. Not just in the UK, there will be nurses from all over the world attending that, just as we do today. And connecting nurses is part of that, because what we're doing is sharing with each other views, experience, evidence-based research. These are critically important things. So the future of nursing, for the sake of humanity, is bright. It is global. We have to be persistent. We need to be engaged. And in the context of leadership, much greater emphasis needs to be placed on acquiring those skills and being a political advocate for the people whom we serve. Thank you.
So what we're finding today is that nurses are everywhere, present at all levels, making decisions, involved in patient care on a day-to-day, on a planning, on a coordination basis. They're competent, they're ready, but they just need to be recognized.
A new application and tools. Also, we develop mobile applications, and today I just want to display the universal nurse. What happens today? Connecting nurses is about connecting nurses among themselves and making nurses capable to connect better to their patients. But here, what happens when the nurse and the patient do not speak the same language? This is all about universal nurse.
As we've heard, nurses do so much that touches patients' lives, that works with them every day, that really impacts them. But there's ways that we can continue to improve and to build on what we're doing to make healthcare better, to help patients live longer, to live healthier lives. And since I've been in the profession and heard about these initiatives, I became very passionate about sharing the work that nurses are doing, because so often we're focused on the patients, the problems that we have every day in clinical practice, and we forget that we need to go out and share the work that we're doing, which is why we're here today, celebrating nurses.
I consider the nurse as one of the few, if not the only, healthcare professionals who could manage the condition beyond the prescription. My son started self-injecting alone, thanks to the diabetes nurse who gave him the confidence and said, look, you could succeed, you could manage, you could do it alone.
So when I think about nursing, I think about a contribution that is not only helping people like your son and your family, but it's helping entire countries do a better job of taking care of their people. So I would leave you with this. When we think about the projects that I've shared, what Connecting Nurses has done is illuminate the problem, but also illuminate the solution.